Hi everyone, welcome back for another whiskey review. Now today is Monday and this is my birthday week, and I'm actually genuinely quite excited for once about my birthday coming because it is the big number 40, and all of a sudden I'm feeling the weight of how long I have been alive, but also how much I know about quite a few things I'm involved in, but most importantly, whiskey. And even more important to that, single malt Scotch whiskey. Now I decided, well, my birthday's not till Saturday, so I thought I've got so many of these samples from 1984, my birth year. I'm going to spend the whole week working through them, obviously treating myself, selfish, but sampling some really, really old whiskey. 1984 was a long time ago. And to start the series off, I'm going to try a sample released by Signatory back in 2001. And now this is quite interesting, something I didn't know either, and I picked up on it now. It was distilled on 4th of December 1984, so my birth year, obviously much later. But what is more interesting is it was bottled on 9th of April 2001. Now, at some point on 7th of April that year, 2001, I actually moved to New Zealand for the very first time. So as my first couple of days of establishing myself in New Zealand was happening, this particular wee sample was being bottled. Now, I'm actually quite a big fan of these. I don't see them from Signatory anymore, but it came with this little tin. How cute is that? And I don't know why these are not available. I'm assuming it's because of the cost of goods, because the amount of time it takes to stock the line and bottle these, and this is quite labor intensive. I'm assuming it's purely because of economic reasons, but I just love the presentation. I love this tin. I love how beautiful it is and how something so special and meaningful can be obtained to try a little 50 ml sample of. Now, the whiskey itself, Mannochmore, not a lot of it is out there. You do see an odd indie bottling, but there's no official releases. It is owned by Diageo. Most of the malt whiskey made there goes into Hagues, which is not very common in New Zealand. I know in Europe and other parts of the world, people do drink a lot of Hagues, the House of Hague whiskey. But my understanding is some of the Mannochmore goes into different Johnny Walkers as well. And the distillery itself is not open to the public because it is one of those workhorse distilleries. It just makes a lot of single malts for blending. Now, this particular one being distilled in 1984 is a little bit more meaningful and a little bit special because the distillery was actually shut down for a period of 4 to 5 years from 1985. So this is some of the very last whiskey that came off the stills. But now it's about to go into my Dean Riley glass. Bottled at a disappointingly 43%, but we'll allow it. It's very old whiskey. And aged in a refill ex-sherry cask. Not much color to it. Must have been a very tight sherry cask. But let's see. Let's see what it's got. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, I reviewed the Compass Box Company. This is not a luxury whiskey the other day, which was a quite interesting concept, trying to make people think about, what is a luxury whiskey? Is it a luxury of flavors and smells, or is it price, or is something else, which is exclusivity? That's exactly where this one will fit in. I'm not saying it's a luxury whiskey, but it is something a bit exclusive. And it is from my birth year, which did happen, nearly 40 years ago. And it comes very well presented from a distillery that was closed for 5 years. So, yeah, I mean, I'm allowed to hype it up a little bit. It's something a little bit special. Well, let's nose it. The color, very light. Very, very light. For a around 16-year single malt, I believe it is 16 years. I'd say, yeah. And butt number 4676. 4576, sorry. Refill sherry butt for 16 years, stays here. Right, let's nose it. Oh. It's just a hint of spice. There's actually not a lot on the nose at all. Wow. Just a bit of honey. Oh, I've just wasted some expensive whiskey. All right. There's seriously, there's not a lot on the nose at all. There's not a lot. I'm not making it up. There's not a lot happening on the nose at all. There's just a little bit of honey. Not really getting much else. Bit of honey. Almost like it's trying to present a little bit of spice. But it is very disappointing on the nose after all that hype. All right, let's see if something magical happens on the palate. On the nose so far, not a lot, just honey. Very dud. Really dud. All right, let's try it. Here we go. Nice. The honeyed sweetness is on the palate. Just a gentle, really, really tiny amount of spice. Reasonably oily, actually. I'm just trying to think. It's actually reminding me of one of the blends from Johnny Walker. Can't quite put my finger on it. It's kind of waking up a little, actually. The nose is presenting a little bit more now. There's just the slightest hint of citrus. Just a bit of citrus sweetness. Right, what was that? On the back of palate, there's just a gentle spice. Overall, actually very light. Very, very light. It must have been a very, very tired sherry butt. And I'm 100% of the opinion the team went to bottle it and looked at the color of it. They thought, gee, we haven't picked up bugger all from this whiskey cask. Because there is not a lot happening on the nose and the palate. It's actually fine. It's good. I'm still very excited, very grateful. I got to try a whiskey sample. So beautifully presented from my birth year, but it's actually a real disappointment. There's really not a lot happening on the nose or the palate after 16 years of aging. That's a really, really long time. But hey, like I said, I'm grateful for having tried it. Really, really good. Now, I'm looking forward to doing another 1984 review next, which I'm hoping will be a little bit better because it's also at 43%. And then I've got a whole heap of cask strength samples, single cask samples. So I was getting the 43% ones out of the way. So hopefully this one will be the goods before the cask strength kicks in. Well, that's all I've got to say about this particular whiskey. If you're liking the content, please like, share, and subscribe. Otherwise, I'll see you in the very near future. See you later. Bye-bye.